Most people spend a full day in London and still don't understand what they just saw. They hit all the right places, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, but in the wrong order, so none of it connects. This is one curated day in London called the Royal Flow, a sequence through some of the city's most iconic places. So by the end of it, what you're seeing actually makes sense. This isn't about distance, it's about sequence. Change the order and you change the entire London experience. And today it starts here at Westminster.
So if you're wanting the money shot, the one that of the iconic Big Ben, you're gonna take this exit here. It's called exit 4. And if you go up those stairs, it's gonna show you Big Ben. You're gonna come out and bam, you're gonna see it. It's right there. It's at the Westminster stop and it's gonna be showcasing Big Ben. It's exit 4. If you take exits 1, 2, or 3, I don't know where they're gonna take you, but it's not gonna be this iconic shot. So this is the one that you want, exit 4.
You want to go up the stairs slowly because this is one of the few places in London where the city reveals itself exactly as it was intended. Big Ben and Westminster, they're not just landmarks. This is where Britain stages power, visibly, deliberately, and without ambiguity. You're not confused about where you're at. It's someplace really important. Government here is not hidden, it's framed, elevated, reinforced through scale, symmetry, and permanence. And yes, it's also where you can get a photo, the K2, famous K2 phone box, because even the icons were designed to be seen, so have your photo moment, get that photo.
All right, there it is. I just turned from Westminster Station, and so I'm gonna show you all the big sights. We're gonna head over now to Buckingham Palace, and again, you can do this pathway. It's on my website. It's a really great, it's like you're basically walking in a triangle, and you're gonna see all of the great British sites, many of the great British sites. You're gonna see Westminster Abbey, Big Ben, it's right there. We're gonna head over to Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace, we're going to check out Spencer House after that, and then Trafalgar Square. And within that little triangle, that British triangle, you will have seen some really cool stuff. So let's get started.
But this is where most people get it wrong. They come here and they take it in and move on. But the walk from here, that's actually part of the design. You're standing here on the birdcage. Look around. These aren't just random buildings. These are institutions, structured, ordered, deliberate, reinforcing the power system that is surrounding you. Then, suddenly, it opens. Space, stillness, greenery, control through contrast. You're not being rushed through here. You're being guided. And then you arrive. Buckingham Palace isn't just a residence, it's a statement of permanence.
One of the downsides about visiting during this time of year in January is that the palace is actually closed to visitors. You can actually grab passes to take a tour of the palace, but they're usually held in the summertime, and from what I understand, they get snatched up fairly quickly. So maybe even getting to visit it, even if you're at the right time, isn't going to be a possibility, but you can certainly tour it. I recommend coming in the morning where the crowds are lower, and of course in January right now, it's not too cold actually. It's a little chilly, but not unbearable. There's not a really fierce wind. It's beautiful weather. And like I said, the crowds have all died down, and you can get a real appreciation for this incredible structure here. It's massive. I think there's over 775 rooms, 19 of which are official reception rooms. And I think there's like 70 something bathrooms. It's a big place. One of the things to know about getting around Buckingham Palace is that they have these barricades everywhere. So they prevent you from walking onto the road. So that makes getting to that roundabout island that you can see right there, that makes getting to that island very difficult and challenging. And it makes getting to the actual palace itself daunting as well. I mean, it'd take you around 20 minutes if you didn't get on the right road to get to the right place. It can be a little challenging, so you definitely want to give yourself some time when you're trying to get to that other side. So I personally, since I can't go in, I don't really see the point in getting any closer. I mean, it's a beautiful building. It's a great, beautiful building, but again, I'm very happy where I am right now. There's really pretty statues. There's not a whole lot to see, but it's just nice to kind of get a view of it, get a picture for yourself, and then move on, because there's a lot of other really cool stuff to see too.
So maybe you want a little bit more of Buckingham Palace. Well, you can definitely approach the mall, and that is the area between the palace and the Queen Victoria statue. It's free for you to walk around, and it's free for you to take pictures up close at the palace, but don't expect to enter. Obviously, one thing that you want to keep in mind is that while it's free, but it can also cost you a lot of time. Maneuvering through that area can be really tedious with a lot of barricades and gates, so just plan for that as well. Maybe you want to do an even deeper dive into Buckingham Palace. Well, you can certainly book a reservation for a palace tour on their website, and you can also visit the two museums that are adjacent to the palace. If you follow Spur Road down, you can hit the King's Gallery, which is a portrait gallery of royal portraits, and you can also visit the Royal Mews. These are two museums that are also not free, and of course the reservation for the palace tour will not be free either, and they book fast, so you want to definitely plan ahead if you're trying to get a reservation. Notice the distance, the gates, the blockades, the symmetry. Everything here reinforces one idea. Power is visible, but never fully accessible. And just beyond the palace, crossing the street into the Green Park, there's something more subtle. As we're walking along, you come upon a row of aristocratic houses, and one in particular, Spencer House.
So this is Spencer House. I don't know if I can get a better view, but it's covered up in bushes. But this is the first family mansion that was built by the first Earl Spencer for the Spencer family, from which Princess Diana comes from. And it's a stone's throw from the palace, which is right over there, which shows you how close those two families actually were. Really interesting tidbit about Spencer House is the fact that it's still standing in the heart of London, which is a very unusual thing. These old Georgian mansions either didn't survive the bombing of World War II, or a lot of them had to make way for larger buildings to accommodate London growing. And so the fact that the Spencer House, which is still intact, says a lot about the power and prestige of the Spencer family, as well as their very close ties to the royal family, which I find incredible. I find it incredible that this beautiful house is literally just a 5-minute walk to Buckingham Palace. It really shows the closeness of how closely interwoven the two families actually have been for a very long time. I think a lot of people just think, oh, Diana was a commoner, or she just happened upon the family, and no. They have known each other. The Spencers and the Mountbatten Windsors and all of them, they all go back, way back. So it's a really interesting thing to see, and architecture doesn't really lie. The house is right there, so it gives you an indication of how close some of these people were.
If our free quick walk to Spencer House wasn't enough for you and you want more, you can certainly go to the Spencer House tours, which are offered on Sundays, to learn more about the origin of the Spencers and the restoration of the house, and of course, submerge yourself in the house. Of course, it's not free. Additionally, just steps away from the Spencer House is St. James's Palace, which gives you an insider's look into the world of British royal history. And again, that's also not free. Both will take a considerable amount of time, so you want to plan for that beyond a quick royal walk. And this is where you can feel it shifting again from private and protected aristocratic palaces to what's public and remembered. Monuments like this don't just honor people, they define what a nation chooses to remember. Trafalgar Square. This is where power becomes visible to everyone. Nelson's column doesn't just mark a victory, it reinforces Britain's identity as a dominant maritime force. The scale, the elevation, the positioning, everything here is designed to be seen, remembered, and absorbed. The message is clear. The United Kingdom was a great nation. And just steps away from Trafalgar Square are two of some of the most dynamic museums in all of the United Kingdom, the National Gallery and the National Portrait Gallery. Let's start with the National Portrait Gallery on the backside of the museum.
I just wrapped up the National Portrait Gallery, and it is an absolute must-see. Again, it's free. It's part of that free London experience that you can have, and it is full of richness, cultural richness, historic relevancy and richness, as well as artistic greatness. It showcases portraits, but not just any random portraiture. It's portraits throughout history of the movers, the shakers, and the makers of the United Kingdom. I recommend going up and starting at the third floor, which showcases the very start of portraiture in the UK, with, of course, the royal families, the Tudors, and the predecessors. And it goes into detail. It chronicles English history, British history, through all of this portraiture. The rooms are vast, the galleries are numerous. You will not be able to see this in a few hours. It will take a couple of days. So this is one of these museums that you can keep going to and seeing new stuff and really get a sense of this country and a little bit about, through portraiture, why this country matters and what makes this country important. And it's really, really cool. And I think that you'll like it. So definitely check out the National Portrait Gallery. I have just finished with the National Gallery, and that again is another amazing museum that's part of Free London. It has room after room after room after room of incredible art. They also have paid exhibitions. Right now they have a paid exhibition that you can go and see. It's on Van Gogh. But apparently it's all sold out. So you can't buy, if you just show up, you're not going to be able to get in. You do have to make reservations in advance for both the free part and the exhibition. Those exhibitions also sell out. So you definitely want to do that. Also, when you get yourself a free ticket, if you go online, you make a reservation, they'll send you the free ticket by PDF, by email. You can also access it electronically through your email. Nobody really scanned it. But what I did notice was that the lines are really long. So if your check-in time is like, say, 2 o'clock, you're definitely going to want to come here at about 1:40 or 1:45. That way you can take in the scenery here at the entrance and at Trafalgar Square, and also get in line a little bit early so that you can actually start at 2 o'clock. But if you come at 2, you probably won't get into the museum at 2:15. So just, in terms of planning, just make sure to give yourself at least 15 to 20 minutes before your actual check-in time. point number 2, there's a lot of people. This is a free museum, and it's a popular museum for good reason. It houses an impressive collection of art that is just magical and deepens the cultural conversation around UK as well as all of Europe. There's so many different periods of art here that it's a treasure trove of exploration that you're going to absolutely love. But just bear in mind that because it's free, lots of people. What do I mean by that? I mean, give yourself a lot of rest, give yourself a lot of space in between these visits, right? Because these kinds of visits can create a lot of travel stress. They go beyond your routine and you're dealing with a lot of people and it can create a lot of friction, a lot of stress. So just make sure you have those times outside of the museum spaces where you're giving yourself rest and relaxation and just unwinding and decompressing. Because when you go to a museum like that, you're gonna love the art, but the people and the crowds will definitely stress you out too. But yeah, I mean, I honestly couldn't be there for more than 2 hours because I just saw the National Portrait Gallery, which is also impressive. My battery is so low, but this again is another museum because it's free and because there's so much to see. You don't need to worry about missing out. I mean, I could come back to London 3 or 4 or 5 more times and still go to this museum and still be seeing their free stuff because there's so much good free stuff to see. So there's so much to do here that's free. This is one of the ones you want to definitely have on your checklist to take advantage of for free London. If you're so inclined, after finishing the museum, you can walk 0.3 miles right up the street to the world famous Piccadilly Circus. Let's go. Oh, I like the way the lights make me look. So we're gonna turn left and I can already see the lights, which is kind of amazing. It definitely will remind you of Times Square, that's for certain. But let's go ahead and let's turn so you can see. Piccadilly Circus is London's answer to Times Square, but with a much older history dating back to 1819. That's right. The name Piccadilly comes from a 17th century tailor named Robert Baker, who made a fortune selling piccadilles. Piccadilles were a type of lace collar that was fashionable at the time. And rumor has it that his house was located in this very place where he sold the piccadilles. The iconic lights didn't appear until the early 20th century, just like Times Square. One thing that you will definitely notice while you're here is that it is much smaller than Times Square. As a comparator, it's tinier, it's not as big, and it's not as illuminated as I would think you'd want it to be. I mean, this is this big wall. But a really interesting fact about Piccadilly Circus, I told you what the Piccadilly means. The circus comes from the Latin word meaning circle because of this roundabout that I am currently walking on. There's a roundabout here that you can walk on that allows you to do a complete 360 around the underground. But the best part about Piccadilly Circus, like Times Square, is that it's a nexus for the tube or their version of the subway. So, yeah, it's a good thing that way. This is Piccadilly Circus, definitely a tourist spot. I would just try to fit it into your agenda whenever you have some time if you're passing through. It's a really great spot to pass through and do a couple of photos and watch the red double-decker buses drive by. Very iconic, very fun, but it really isn't going to take more than 10-15 minutes. It's not certainly a place you want to stop and hang out, or there's really nothing to do here in this particular area that I found that doesn't feel kitschy or touristy in that way. And of course, whatever you do here, you're going to pay a lot of money, except use the subway. That's a uniform price everywhere. And I'm gonna jump into the subway now because I am freezing, yo. It's getting a little cold as the sun drops. But I have to say, January as an off season is not that bad. I mean, the crowds are great. There's not all these crowds here, so lucked out there.
Well, that's the royal flow. One day in London, structured so it actually makes sense. From power declared at Westminster to identity shaped inside the galleries to a city that now runs on attention. Look at me. It's not more places, it's the right sequence that matters. If it's your first time in London, this is where I'd start, because once you see it this way, everything else really begins to connect and make sense. The full 5-day guide, mapped out step by step, is linked below, along with deeper dives on each stop. Next, we go further into the side of London where power isn't just built, it's refined.